It's actually a nice question because I get a lot of young dancers when I do lectures or go to schools. I talk about what I do, and it feels like in Sweden it's pretty new at some parts. I work with TV and I work with tours, but all I do, I create music visually. So when I was a dancer, I knew I wanted to dance. I was super happy dancing, but it's just like I just wanted to do more. That's when I started doing choreography, and I got recognized as a choreographer, and then I felt like, this isn't enough. I want to do everything. Like, I want to be the person who listens to a song and talk to the artist and get that trust gained, because it's really a trust thing. Like, how you sang this song, I'm gonna portray it. So I think it's just passion and that hunger to do more. And now I feel that I'm never, how to say it correct, I'm not ready now, but it feels like I'm at ease now. It feels like my creative mind is like, now it's finally, it has somewhere to go. I think that's also one of the questions I receive a lot from young people and from people older they're just trying to pick apart, like, what is it you do? I don't really get it. So I think my background comes from dance. That makes me very strong in movement. I can always do my own choreography, my performances, but I can also understand the correlation between movement in picture and movement in body, expression and light. So I have a timing that is, so that's been my path. But I think you can do it from, as long as you have interest in it and you're passionate about it, you can do it from any direction. I know some people come from taking still photos or maybe shooting videos. So I mean, it depends on where you come from. But I'm also a geek, like I'm a nerd. I'm hanging out at all the light blogs. I'm like, yeah, that new lab looks really good. Because it helps me, because I have more knowledge when I get into doing something, because I know what I want to use. So being passionate about it, being a geek and a nerd about everything, it's my best tip. I think all my inspiration, and this is gonna sound weird, but I cannot watch, I know people are so different. I cannot watch a video, a reference of a movement video. I wanna do this, because then it's already done for me. I cannot even see it. It's like, there's no way into this. But for me, I look at art, I look at still photos, a lot of art installations, light installations. For me, I can get an emotional feeling to a picture, and I'll be like, this is the performance. Now let's just work out how camera can do it, how light can do it, how you can do it on a stage. But it's I don't know, for me it's still photos and installation art. So I have a company called Jean-Baptiste Group, and we're now stepping into we're 4 creators in the company, and then we have one lovely person also coordinating us, us. But it's so basically when I started doing this, I felt that Sweden wasn't ready, because I came to my first TV production, a production where I really learned. That's been my school. Like, if you get a foot in and then you like learn, you just soak everything in. Like, what does that guy do? What does she do? And what does that mean? So I went to them and said, you need me. And they're like, okay. I've been a choreographer doing maybe some, performances. I was like, you need me. I'm going to be your visual director here. Super young and super cocky. I'm gonna portray how every song sounds. They're like, okay, but they're like, it sounds interesting. So I started that production, and then I got a lot of courage and strength from learning and practicing. So I built my TV part very strong. So I do Eurovision as a freelance. I do Melodifestivalen, and I also do Idol. I do a lot of TV shows here that are music based. And then I design artists' performances. I'm going to the Grammys, I want to do a performance, and then we design that one. And then we have a big part of our company is doing tours. So I do the same thing, but I do it live. So I design tours. And that's a whole nother palette. I think my first big one was with Sara Larsson, And I think that was my first big tour. And I was like, sitting there in the production, just wanted to scream, cut! No, that's not possible. Closer, no, that's not even possible, because it's it's all live. So that's been a transition for me to learn how you can how can I create the picture I see in my head without cameras or anything I need to just do it with lights and props and stage design and positions. So it's super fun to have the year round to just be, you know, pushing yourself. I think I've had the luck to really, I've worked so hard at Eurovision, so I've had the luck to be approached by delegations. When I get an email and an artist, I want to see how the artist looks. And with that, I mean how they pose themselves, how they choose to take their photos on Instagram, how they portray themselves, because it gives me a lot of information. And then I listen to the song. Usually takes me about couple of seconds to know if I want to do it, because it's, if it feels right in my gut, then I want to do it. And then when I said yes, this sounds good, it's just also a matter of, I mean, I work at Melodifestivalen. I worked since November with our fantastic creative team to create all the performances that Sweden see. We're an amazing team with the best knowledge ever, with light and cameras and everything. When I go to Eurovision, I have a short amount of time and I am doing lights, camera scripts and everything. So I have so much respect for how much it takes to create a good performance. So I really need to feel that I have the trust from the delegation and the artist, because I know this is huge for them. They're representing their country on the biggest platform ever. But also it's their name. I mean, it's their moment in life they're gonna look back on when they go, oh, so I just wanna make sure that we're the right match. Sometimes I have to say no and decline because I feel that there's so many other good directors that probably do that song better, but my aesthetic is not gonna help it. It's not gonna be the right fit. And then I meet the artist, and then I draw the performance here in Sweden, and I present it as a draft to just capture the idea. And that's also a tricky part. You know, you need to present something. And you're going to be talking and sending this to maybe 40 people. 10 of them are not creative. They're just working with management and budget. Some of them are super creative and have their own style. And one of them, of course, is the artist. And we also have the composers. So you need to work really hard to present a draft that feels whole. That it's like, I understand it. My grandma understands it. Everybody understands it. I actually test my performance on my grandma. She's the best ever. Because if she understands it, I'm right. Grandma's for the win. And for me, it's really important. I know this is different, so this is not a right or wrong. For me, it's important to have the freedom to create. And that's a huge trust from the delegation and the artist. I've had so many artists that already had big careers, that had like, I have my team from my country, I have my choreographer, my director, I have my dancers, and I'm like, so you may not know me, but I'm gonna be doing this performance over in a small country called Sweden. And then I'm gonna come to you. And they're like, okay. So that first initial talk and bonding is so important. And I think also many of the artists I work with, I still are like this with, because you bond with them so tight. But then when I do the performance, I then go to travel and rehearse with them and work with them. And then it's a part of sending in a project management towards Eurovision to display what you want to do, because when I do a performance, I don't have a performance to show them. I can't send them a script and show them this is how it looked and this is how it's going to be. So my first day going into camera rehearsals are the first day. When you have the performance, you met your artist, you rehearse in their country, in my country, and you feel like we got this. You've sent the information to Eurovision. You need to always project management it. Is it possible? They can say yes or no. You need to change this. It's not allowed. It's not, we can't do it. We can't fulfill it. So you need to be on your toes. But I think the biggest, I see that the vision part 1, 2, project management, 3 is getting into Eurovision. Because you're going to step on stage, meeting our countries like beautiful Sweden or other countries who have national selections where you really have a performance. So the first day on stage is like, okay, keep calm, everybody. All 40 people in the delegation. But also to understand and be super quick. There's 100 things that look bad. 50 of them we're going to work for. 50 of them scrap. That's never going to work. Take it out now. And 20 of them we're going to talk about today on stage. 10 of them in viewing room. So you need to divide your mind really quick to make decisions. Because you're meeting a light designer who may think that, you know, who may be very traditional, and you need to get him to be like, we're gonna do arty and edgy, be with me. So yeah, it's a do. Tricky question. I think like this. I only do songs and artists that I feel would be fun for me to do, and I feel that I'm a good match. I never look at the odds, or I'm never into that. I don't know who's gonna be, you know, who's everybody talking about. So when I came second with Bulgaria, I heard the song Christian Kostov, and I just heard a few seconds. I was like, yes. I feel it in my bones. And he came second, and I think actually that was the first time I was like sitting in green room watching him being all hyped up. I'm like, okay, so you could actually win this. That's also one thing. Haven't really thought that way, because my job is to like hold on to the artist. Like, remember what we talked about the first time I met you. What's your goal doing this? I want to present myself for an international platform. I want to, you know, okay, let's keep that in mind so you don't get blown away by the circus and the competition. And when Fuego came second, that was, yeah, actually after Fuego, it was a bit tricky to do performances with dance. Because I think people are like, oh my God, it's gonna look like Fuego. I'm like, it's still me, so it has my aesthetics. But I know, something happened with Fuego. She was a phenomenon. I think I gather inspiration and it fills my idea bank, but it's very tricky to do the same thing as you see in a still photo. But it's just the amount of creative freedom I like, because you see something and it gives you a feeling. Like, I think I was in Lithuania doing their Grammys or something, and I stopped. I was like, I need to stop. They're like, what is she doing? And I went out and took a photo in the middle of the night of a window because it looked amazing. I was like, this is perfect. They're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, this is a performance, because I can see it, the way the structures, the shapes, the different colors, the materials, the angles. It just felt, I need to save this because I'm gonna have a good use of it in the future. So it's not that I actually go back to that picture, like when I hear a song, like, ooh, that, but it's just like, it gets me going into that direction. So it's more filling your mind with different ideas. No, but it's a team effort. I mean, Eleni is amazing.
Yeah.
It's she's trusted me with. Also, she's actually one of those artists because she has her own career. She has her dance team. She has her American choreographer who's living in Greece. She has everything set for her. And I was like, okay, so are we doing this? Then we're gonna do it this way. And she's like, okay, I trust you. I was like, okay, cool. You know, that initial trust. So it's really a team effort. I came down, showed the performance. She's like, yes, we're keeping everything. I'm like, okay, perfect. So then you're a match. I mean, it just felt so good. So, but I actually, that trip with Fuego was crazy because you were in a delegation. It was impossible to not be infatuated of the odds and everything and the hype around it. But it also can take the best out of you as an artist. It's important to remember to not let the competition. I used to hold the line and be like, remember what we talked about? What's your main goal doing this? Remember what we talked about when we first met? Because it's easy to just go like, crazy about it. I think it's so new to me that people actually are interested in people doing the performance. And I think it's also the industry is shifting more to how you do in the UK or America, where you actually have somebody doing the creative part. So I'm just super happy that people like you and guys acknowledge the fact that it's actually more people behind than composers. So I think I do see some comments because people also send them to me. But also I think I saw some bad comments saying like, oh, this is gonna be, it looks so, I hate that Sacha. She always does those dark, moody performances. I'm like, yes, so happy. So I don't know if it really bites on me because I don't know. And also I have so much respect for that people have different opinions. You want to do something that engage somebody. I mean, you don't want it to just float by. Not me. I want to do if you don't like it, well, you still felt something. It's not for you, but you still felt something. So no, it doesn't affect me, but I get super happy when people actually give love and support. It makes me happy. I also think what I notice now, and I guess that the fan base who like to write a lot and comment really quick is going to be cattier, and I mean it's going to grow like every YouTube crowd does. Like it grows and you have a fan base, you pick sides and you take sides. There's probably some people who's gonna hate when they hear my name that I'm gonna do a performance. I'm okay with that, but I think it's interesting when you see, sometimes you see comments, you had your first rehearsal and people have no idea about the background, that you actually meet a country like our own country, Sweden, where we worked with this for November, and you have your first rehearsal and people go like, that's never gonna work, it looks so bad, take it out. And they don't understand that it's a process. For me, I'm used to it, but I think a lot of people may not know, and should know, that it's a process when you go on stage. It's not ready, you're testing stuff, especially if you're a country who haven't had any national selection, or maybe it's a smaller national selection who didn't have the capacity of all those cameras, or so I just think people should chill and wait. And some stuff look horrendous the first time. I mean, it is, when you work at Eurovision, you actually get a stand-in video, if you heard about them.
Yeah.
Okay, so those videos are far away from where you want to go, but it's, for me who work in a production, this is what I do all year round. I understand them. For me, it's a puzzle. I can see, okay, wow, that's never gonna work. It doesn't look, the lighting line doesn't look like how I thought it was gonna look. It's broken up. So for me, it's a puzzle and very helpful in order to create it. But for an artist who maybe not have that knowledge, but have the investment, they're probably not the right person to see it. Probably because when you grow and you add more layers to your knowledge, it's easier to understand how to reach that feeling that you want to reach. And I think when I started, I was, it's broader strokes. You're trying to, understand, like, this should be white, but it's hard to understand what kind of white, how is it white, and why is it square, what makes it square. Is it the absence of light, or is it and then you learn more about it. So of course you grow as a person. And so if I were to look at all my past performances, I think I would tweak them a lot. But I don't really believe in going back and second guessing yourself, because I think you took that choice for a reason. And then of course a more grown-up me would think that I may tweak it, and now I know how to do it. Hopefully I'm still growing and learning, but I just think it's really important to not be downsizing yourself. I mean, you're part of somebody's history and music. It's just, I don't know, you should just be in the moment. No, I'm super stoked to talk to you, and also because this is my favorite thing to do. I love to talk about creative stuff. I'm always like, should we start a geek group? Like after every big EMA, AMA, Billboard, should we just sit down together and have a debriefing group? Because that's how passionate I am about performances. I'm like, that could have been perfect if you didn't have that side light, or if that camera was straight, I'm super geek.